So we recall that the investment bankers came into this transaction to issue debt on behalf of this private equity. So they issued debt on behalf of this private equity, and they issued this debt at a fee of roughly $4 million. So we're going to be referencing these fees that was issued as a result of this transaction, which negatively impact retained earnings going forward. So we have to reference the fee. So it's going to be a Cox-School calculation as usual. Then we are saying here that fees were issued, or debt issuance fees were paid by this private equity to investment bankers as a result of this transaction. So these investment bankers, they underwrote $4 million as a fee on the total debt that was issued. So from term loan 1, term loan 2, subordinated debt, and even the line of credit, all of those debt were issued at a fee of approximately $4 million. So we have to adjust this retained earnings, because we know that the formula for the retained earnings, we take into account the net income in the period, and then we deduct any dividends that will be paid. So we take into account whatever the opening balance was for the retained earnings, which are those fees. And then we add to it the net income in the period, which we calculated a while ago. So we have the net income yield. And then we deduct any dividends that will be paid as a result of this transaction. So we have it set up here. As you can see, we enter this as negative numbers. It's already set up for us there as a negative number. So we can now use this sum function to sum everything up. So we're offsetting those fees by the net earnings in the period. So we have those amounts set up there for us. So having completed the equity schedule, we are now ready to finally output. We are now ready to finally complete our model. So we recall that before we modeled the tranche of debt, we had a section here. So we recall that before we modeled the tranche of debt, we had the cash that was going to be available to pay down all of the tranches of debt. We did not account for the mandatory debt issuance and the equity issuance and the payments of dividends. This amount needs to be accounted for before whatever is left will be used to pay down debt. So that's exactly what we are doing here. So we're gonna say that for the mandatory repayment, we already we have to add that. So we're gonna go all the way to our term loan 1, term loan 2, and subordinated debt. So we add all of the required repayments that we made. Or for the term loan A, we have it there, plus the term loan B, we have it there, and then the subordinated debt, we just have to reference that there, even though we know that usually there is no amortization for this tranche of debt, but we just have to reference that there. So we add all of the required repayments as a result, and then for the issuance of equity and the repurchase of equity, we have to offset those amounts. If there was going to be any issuance of equity and any buybacks of equity, then we'll have to offset them. So here we kind of model it like issuance of equity and repurchase. So we just add those two together by offsetting those amounts if ever we change the assumptions in our input section. And then for the payments of dividends, we already have a reference for us in our equity or retained earnings. So we have the dividends there. So if there were gonna be dividends to be paid to these equity investors, then we will have to deduct those dividends before accounting for any cash available to pay down there. So we cannot take this and fill it right with Control R. So as you can see, we have modeled everything up to this point, and the only thing that is remaining is for us to complete our income statement and the cash flow statement. So we already modeled the cash net interest expense. In this case, we will go down to reference the cash net interest expense, which will impact our income statement. So interest expense is tax deductible, and that has a positive impact on this company to pay down. This has a positive impact on this company to pay down its debt based on its cash flow. So we will reference that amount, which is tax deductible. So we have to reference the cash net interest expense. So we have it right there, the cash net interest expense. And then for the payment in kind, we just paste this as formulas, and then we can copy this